Everyone. We are very fortunate today to have Antonio Nunez as your guest speaker. How many of you have seen one of his trucks or something around? Yeah, most of you. So he'll talk a little bit about it. We asked Antonio to share a little bit about his background and his business, and hopefully we can save a few minutes at the end for a couple questions. So without any further discussion, I'll introduce Antonio Nunez. And speak up.
Do you want to hand these out?
Yes, oh, sorry. Here's the note pages, which I forgot to hand out. That way, this way. Good.
Are we good?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Antonio. I'm from Antonio Landscaping in Rockwell. I started a business in 2006, around 2007, after I graduated from Manson High School. So that's when I started business, and then from there, I kind of started business, and then I also started going to school at the same time when I went to college. And I was doing both at the same time. Then a little bit of my background is I went to Wenatchee Valley College for 2 years, and I transferred to Corona Community College for 2 years to get my prerequisites for construction management program at the University of Washington. So that's why you see the logo over there. So in 2012, I graduated from University of Washington as a construction manager or construction engineering at that time. I'm gonna go through a little bit to explain you what my business stands for and what we do normally, and also all the options that we normally do right now. So this is Antonio's Landscaping and Rottweiler. It stands for Antonio, which is my dad, and I'm Antonio Jr. too, so that's why I kind of put Antonio at that time. And since I started the business, I've been keeping the name. So after that, I kept the name, but I've been changing kind of the logo, the marketing, everything has been, moving since the day I started the business. I'm gonna go to some of the projects that we have done in the area. We normally just work around Manson and Chelan. And we don't really go to Wenatchee unless there is a big project. Right now we have a few projects that are gonna be in Nomac, so we're kind of trying to go out, but most of the time it's here in the area. This is a project that we do at the Lookout. It's a waiting park project that we finished last year. This is another project. We do a lot of design builds. So basically, I design a lot of my projects and we get to build it. This is a sketch that I drew for the Lookout, which is one of my clients. And then we were able to build it a few years ago. This is another one, part that I designed, and we were able to build for the Lookout. Since 2 years ago, I decided to go and start a different branch, which is more in general construction. So instead of just doing landscaping and lawn service, I also decided to go and start building houses, that's what I went for, to school to learn how to build houses and high rises and things like that. So now, since 2 years ago, we're doing houses, and I'm designing and building, but I'm doing this for me. So basically, I purchased a lot, I design the house, I build it, and then I sell it. So that's what the general construction stands for in my division of that, which I will explain a little more later. So this is the house that we just completed a month ago, and then we sold it again. So this is a little bit of my renderings that I kind of work, or designs that I work on it. So when I have a client that doesn't really have an idea of what the project is gonna look like, this is what I design, and then I'm able to show it, change, or make any changes before we even start construction. So I'm just gonna show you some of that. And I learned all of these techniques, or everything that you see here, I learned it through school. So that's why it's really good that you go to college and get a degree or get your education. And then here is my team. We're about 25 employees, up to 30 employees per season on a regular basis. And here are some of my main guys. For some of those people, I think most of you guys kind of know. If not, some of those might be related to you guys, but we know each other in this small town. Okay, so after I graduated from college in 2012, I went and worked for Lee Scratcher Lewis, who is a general contractor in Seattle. They're one of the biggest contractors in Seattle. So they do a lot of high rises. They work for Boeing, for Microsoft. So they do a lot of work. And then after that, I worked 4 years for them. And then I came and I worked for PCL Construction, which is a nationwide company. So I wanted to have the feeling about working in a local community, which is Seattle at that point. And then I also went and worked for PCL, which is a nationwide company, and they work in Canada, Alaska, and other countries. So I kind of want to have a feeling about everything. And then overall, I decided to come back and continue my business and apply everything that I learned through school and working for these two companies. As you can see, this is my dad after I graduated from University of Washington. Here are a few of the projects that I was able to work. I started design on that project, and then I work on putting the price to figure out how much was gonna cost to build it. And then once I figured that out, I passed it to the construction team, and they were able to build it. So that's that was kind of my main task at that time, to kind of figure out the design, work with the owner, work with the architect, and then once we have a design and figure out a contract, my job was to pass the project to the construction team, and they were able to build it. So as you can see, this is the rendering of the concept. It is how they're getting it done at that time. So that was around $460,000 million to put the job together, plus I think it was $150 million job to do all the improvements inside. So that's a big, when you talk about these projects, it's a lot of millions of dollars that I was kind of working on it at that time. Here are another project that I was able to work. So all of these projects were in Seattle, in downtown Seattle, in Bellevue, and Kirkland. So, and in the meantime, I was kind of working for them, and I also was working here, keeping my guys busy. So I was driving back and forward every weekend, working from Monday through Friday for this company, and then coming back on the Friday night, work on the business here with my clients from Monday and Sunday, and then head back on Sunday night or early Monday morning to go back to work on the office for these guys. Again, here more projects. Like I say, I was able to estimate everything from excavation, foundation, and all the way up to to complete a project. So there are a lot of concepts, a lot of parts and pieces to get a building completed. That was my job, kind of estimate everything and get it to to my crews to build it, which is really related to what I do now, which I'm gonna explain in a little bit. So that's another project that I was able to work on. Another one, and then another cool project, which is in Bellevue. So at that time, I was able to only work on these two towers, which was to design it, help with the design, help with the budget or with the cost to build it, and then pass it to the team. But I think I left when these two high rises were going under construction, and this was gonna be the final phase or the final product a couple years later. So in 2016, like 4 years ago, I decided to come back, because it was too much for me to keep up with the work over there and to keep up with my business here, which was growing as well. I decided to come back and apply everything that I learned through school about all the marketing stuff, all the technology, everything that I learned through school, and also everything that I learned through working for a general contractor. So I came back and I kind of decided to apply it on my business. One of the first things that I kind of started working was on the marketing. Marketing is a huge sales point for your business. So always put your name on it and always do a good job, because if you don't do a good job, it's gonna come back and haunt you, or it's gonna affect you in the future. So since I came back, I decided to expand the business, put my name on it, rework on my logo, rework on my colors and everything, but I still keeping the same concept, which is Antonio. As you guys can see right now, we do construction, we do landscaping, we do lawn service, we do a lot of services, but it's still keeping the same, under the same umbrella or the same name. So a business cycle, this is what I do. So basically, regardless of the project, it can be a big project, it can be a small project, everything kind of follows this loop, which is, first of all, it starts by meeting a client. So when a client calls me or contacts me or sends me an email, then I reply and I say, yeah, what can I do for you? We set up a meeting, I meet with the client on site, They let me know what they need, what they want, and then my job is to go and figure out what they want, or if I can improve what they want. I provide a design. That's another sales tools that I use. I do a lot of design, so basically since I design and build, so I'm able to see what they want, work with the design, and then if they like it, we move forward. So I design it, I put a price for it. If the owner wants it, then we move forward on the contract, and then from there, I pass my my contract, or I pass the job to my team, which I have a lot of people. So I have like different teams for different projects. So and then from there, we get the job done. We start the project. We go from procurement, which is meeting the owner, then we go back to landscape design, review. If we got a contract, we pass it to my project team. For my project team, we go back, we finish it at the end of the job, or once the job is done, I'm able to go back and see, make sure that we meet the owner's expectations, or make sure that we got the project completed, like I promised the owner that we're gonna get it. Till the project gets finished, we get paid, and then we move on to the next project. So I keep doing this every day for every job. Here are some of the projects that we have done. This was a big project. I think that was the biggest projects that we have done in the area. And it was for one of my main clients, which is the Lookout, which most of you guys know. So we do all the projects, we do all the parks, we do all the houses, we kind of do everything for them. It is a team, as you guys can see, every truck, every trailer, everything has our name on it. That's why you see a lot of trucks. I have like 20 trucks or 25 trucks. Equipment is a big part of our, we use a lot of equipment. It takes a lot. I know it's a big company, but it uses a lot of equipment, a lot of expenses. I'm gonna go fast because we don't have a lot of time. It is another project. Again, we design it, we build it. That's what we normally do. A lot of people, there are a lot of landscapers around here. A lot of, you guys can see a lot of landscapers, but most of those landscapers, they don't do design, so they just kind of do the same thing. Just go, they give a price, and then if they want it, they do it. But for us, part of my service is design and build, so that helps a lot for gaining a lot of sales, or to sell a lot, for more projects in my business. As you guys can see, I do a lot of design. This is some of the renderings. The owner didn't even have the house built, so what I did, I grabbed the plan and I designed everything how the house was gonna look before we even start construction. That's another 3D rendering, modeling that I kind of do to help the owner visualize or see how the project is gonna look like at the end of the job. Again, I learned Revit, which is a design software that we used to use it for building high-rises or building towers. So I got the same design, the same software, and I started applying it to my business, and that kind of helps a lot. So a lot of 3D design, which helps a lot for selling your product to the owner. The 2D design, which is normally it shows how the project is gonna look like. It lists everything, all the materials that's gonna be specified on the project, and it kind of lists all the plants and species that are gonna go on the project. So that's a big help trying to show when you sell that to the owner. Here you guys can see we work a lot for, we do a lot of big projects. I think some of the big projects that we normally get done here, we kind of get to do them. This is for Chelan Hills. We start with just meeting the owners, then we went through procurement, designing, estimating, and then we got to do it a couple years ago. These are some of the projects that we do at the Lookout, which is designing. So I design, and then I design the landscaping, and it gets done. These are all designs, and these are how they get done after construction. Again, more projects, and some of the rendering. So here, I designed, we built the wall, and then the owner didn't know how it was gonna look like, so I went back and I plugged those plans. And then from there, the owner was able to see how it's gonna look like. That's all designing, that's not real. So that's another, that's how we normally work. I always try to please the owner or figure out, what the owner needs. And if I see that they're kind of struggling to see, what I'm picturing, I go out, put it on the paper and the computer, and then they get to see it. This is the construction division that we're doing right now. That's a house framing. So I do everything. I do since the site work, running utilities, doing the framing and everything, and we work all the way up to we get the project completed. And this is something that's kind of going on right now. I also, as a company, I'm trying to spread, not just do one thing. I'm trying to figure out, where are we kind of getting more profits, and also what's the need for the market right now. As you guys can see, that it's a lot. Manson and Chelan is growing up, so they need a need for houses. So instead of just doing lawn service, I figured out the building houses. What's gonna be, we're gonna be more profitable or make more profit out of building houses than kind of doing landscaping and lawn service. But this is not just for the profit. I do it because I really like it. I went to school because I wanted to be an architect. But I kind of, once I got to college, I figured out that I wasn't really good at drawing, so I kind of went back and I started kind of working on doing it. I don't actually build it. I don't actually do the end works, but I kind of design. I kind of guide the people. I get all the contractors to build the houses. Here are some of the projects that we do, which I'm not gonna go so specific because we have not too much time to go through it. But again, we go back to the main specific, which is I think this is gonna be your class. If you guys decide to start a business, yes, you guys have to work on your design, your marketing, your logos, your colors, and everything has to go from there. And again, right now you got a good advantage that you guys have is you guys have Facebook, you got Instagram, so you got a lot of those items that at that time I didn't have. Right now, yeah, we spend some on on Google and all of that stuff, but right now it's a good opportunity to put your name or your brand online so other people can see it. We also participate in local events, so people can see our work, and also new people that come from Seattle, they can see who we are and what we do. So this is a design build project that I built like 5 years ago, and still we put a lot of effort on each project. Sprinkler system, we do a lot of design for the big plot. Again, this was a development, it was a legacy reach. Long time ago, it was like five years ago when we started designing the prep for it, and then somebody else got to build it and everything. So again, so we do a lot of big projects. Right now I have capacity because I have a lot of manpower. When I started business, it was only me and my dad and another guy. So it's been moving, and then you have to adapt your business and everything to it. Here, I think that's all I have. I'm gonna go through, explain, or if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna go through the list about that I already told you about my background, how I decided to start my business. I decided to start a business. It was mainly to pay for college. It wasn't because I was liking it what to do. It was basically I started a business because I wanted to pay for college, because I didn't have any financial aid, and I didn't kind of work a lot to pay for college. So I started it as a way to pay for college because I wanted to be an architect or an engineer. And then after that, it kept just kind of moving until now. Business plan. At that time, I didn't have a business plan. So I didn't know what was a business plan, to be honest. We didn't have this class, so I wish we would have this class. So it kind of taught me how to do a business or how to manage a business, which is really important for you to learn. If you're gonna start a business, you gotta learn what it takes to do a business or to have a business. For example, at that time, I didn't know everything about insurance. I didn't know anything about bonds. I didn't know anything about all the legal status or legal parts of the business that you have to be prepared or protect yourself. For example, right now, I pay about $20,000 just for insurance. That's on an annual fee. Plus, I pay for bonds. Plus, I pay for a legal service, which is, we try to protect ourselves the company every year. So you pay a lot. So you got to figure out all these costs that it takes to run your business. So when you're doing a service, or if you build something, or if you got a haircut, you have to figure out everything. So if you're gonna charge $10 for a haircut, you gotta figure out how much is gonna be from those $10 per haircut, how much is gonna go to pay insurance, how much is gonna go to pay your building or your site and everything. So that's everything that you have to learn if you start your own business. And some of the challenges that I have right now is because I have 30 guys, and still I need another 20. Plus everything that we're facing right now, all the shutdowns, all the COVID and everything. So we kind of have to prepare to take, some of the challenges and overcome those challenges and move forward. So that's one of my challenges right now. There's a lot going on. We keep getting services, or we keep getting calls every day. And then one of the things that I kind of getting prepared, or I don't normally like to say no, but I feel like sometimes I have to say no to a project. Because if you say, you commit to a project and then you don't do it, that's gonna affect you a lot, instead of just being honest and tell your client, hey, I'm not able to do your project, but if you wait for us 3 months, 4 months, then we can definitely do it. So that's what I normally do right now. If I get a call, let me know when I stop, okay?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
So right now, like I said, I'm facing one of my challenges that I'm facing is we're getting a lot of work, but we still need to plan for long term, or for a busy season. Another of my challenges is that I control the whole company, which is a lot. So I kind of do all the sales. I manage with my team. Players manage my suppliers. I manage all the payroll. So I kind of handle the whole business around, which is one of my challenges because I have people that help me with the payroll. I have an accountant and I have everything, but everything comes to me, and then from there I have to deviate it. I have to kind of assign work for everybody. So that's one of my challenges that I kind of face every day, kind of making sure that I have everything under control. The last one is gonna be, are there any family issues related to being an entrepreneur? I don't have normally challenges, or I don't have any issues. The only thing that this is a family business. I started it, and then my dad came and helped me. So the only challenge that I have is dealing with my dad, because sometimes he wants to do something his way, and I want to do it sometimes my way. So we kind of have some confrontation, but not confrontation, but sometimes, he says something, I say something, but at the end we get together and we get to build it. So we always kind of working for the benefit of the company and for the benefit of the business itself.
So, related to that, Antonio,
Uh-huh.
You got married somewhat recently. So how does owning a business with 30 employees impact your family life with your wife and family?
It's been a challenge, I can say. When I was single, so I was working all day. I normally, my routine is I wake up at 6 a.m., we go to work at 6 a.m., and then I go to bed around 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. So I only sleep like 4 or 5 hours a day. Now that I got married, I have to kind of figure some time for my wife. Now that she's pregnant, I need to figure out what I need to spend some time on my kids. So it's been a challenge. I think that's one of the most challenges that I kind of going through right now is kind of dedicate some time for your family. Because I spent, after I graduated, I went to school, then I work, and I've been working, trying to figure out my goals, my dreams, and everything. But now that I kind of accomplished some of that, I need to figure out, what's also besides just working, you need to figure out what's gonna make you happy. So family is really important, because you can be working, but at the end, if you look around, if you don't have family, you don't have nothing around, then what's the point of just working? There has to be a balance all the time in your life, business, career, everything.
One other question, and then we'll open it up. So when you started the business, did you have to go out and get a loan or financing, or how did you start the business?
So I started the business just with $1,500. I remember I worked in the summer. I saved $1,500, and then I bought a small pickup with the mower that I bought from Home Depot. So I started with only $1,500, and from there I started just knocking doors, going to every house and asking, hey, do you need any loan service? You need help? So that's how I started the business. It's going on, trying to find work. I always I was trying to figure out, how can I do, what can I do to get more work? And from there, people started knowing my name. People started knowing what we do or work we do, and then from there everything started. Everybody. It's a small town, so believe it or not, everybody is gonna know about you. So you better always work. My main goal was to work on my reputation, work on my quality. And that's what I've been focusing all the time. Those are my main concepts. My working quality, working best services, and then prices. We are not cheap. I don't see my company as I don't sell it as being cheap. I sell it as being good quality, good services, and that's what it pays off.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So what questions do you have for Antonio?
Go for it.
Was it stressful at first?
Oh, yeah.
To have to go back to Seattle?
It was really stressful, and it's really stressful because I don't even know how I did it. It was stressful because first of all, I was doing the school. I was going there to school. I was taking all my final, all my thesis and everything. So I was working there, and then coming back. So it was really stressful. A lot of rest, driving back and forward. every week that was really stressful. But if you want something or if you dream about something, you gotta work on it. It's not easy, but once you get to it, you know it's gonna pay off. Question? No more question? The school?
No.
Go for it.
What about competition when you first started?
There wasn't too many competition at that time. One thing that I have seen right now, there's a lot of competition. A lot of people think it's easy to have a business. They think, you know, they just decide instead of just working for me, they're gonna go their own, start their own business. But it's hard. It's hard to maintain when you start a business. So a lot of company comes in and then they come out too, because they cannot handle, you know, the pricing. They cannot handle, you know, everything that it takes, like insurance, bonds, and everything. So they start and then they go out. For me, we have competition. I don't really stress out about competition because a lot of people knows about the company. They know what we do, and that's what I kind of focus myself. For example, I started. Now I got a contract for the Colville Casino, the one in Manson. I work with them. I provide pricing for them, designing, and they also give me a job in Omac and also one in Cooley Dam. So I kind of try to focus more in the big umbrella, which is bigger clients, than just focusing in one client, which is, you know, sometimes it can be a small job, whereas I just focus more on the bigger umbrella, bigger projects. Questions? School?
What's the average cost for like building a house?
Right now, the price got increased a lot. It used to be, for example, a house, you could used to sell a house with the plot and everything for $250,000. 5 years ago, a small average house, now they're $500,000 per house. So the prices have increased a lot. It's not just about me, it's about because lumber, everything, the chains of supply has changed. So I used to pay $100,000 this for the lumber package, now I'm paying $150,000 per package, just for the wood framing. So labor increase, everything has increased from, you know, a couple years ago. You have to update your, you know, your service or your cost based on what's changing around. Like I said, I started school, went to school. I had a good, I think that was one of the best things that I can ever say, you know, I graduated. It was challenging, it was really hard, really stressed out, but I think being able to graduate from University of Washington after I graduated, I never thought I was gonna work for Lee Scratch & Lewis. It's a big general contractor. I came back because I wanted to start my business after I graduated. The next week after I graduated, I got a call from them and they said, you wanna work for us? And I was like, I couldn't even believe it when they called me because it was the #1 contractor in Seattle. But they went back, they looked on my grades, on how I did on my thesis and everything, and that's how they makes them decided that was a good outfit for them. So after I worked for them, I had the opportunity to work with architects, with owners. When you're talking about architects, you're talking about the good paying architects, owners that build like high rises and everything. So I had the chance to learn from them and see how they worked and everything. But at the end, my goal was to come back and start growing here in my town.
So, Antonio, when you were starting out, how did you finance the business after you had your $1,500 to start, but how did you grow the business?
I grew the business based on trying to, for every profit, for every job, I was kind of making a savings account. So basically, I did a job. If I made $500, I save it and I save it. So basically, I was kind of building my own pocket of money, so I could go back and spend it on equipment. Or every year, if we do like these much sales, I save some of that for equipment, or I kind of reinvested back on the business. So that's how I've been able to grow up the business. I mean, the equipment, the finances, all the assets, based on going back and reinvesting those on my own business instead of just going and do something else. Which I also do. I buy horses and I can buy a lot of stuff, but I also go. You know, my main point is growing up the business every year, and I always try to. For example, at the end of the year. If we need an excavator, bigger excavator, we buy it. If we need a trailer, we buy it. So every year I'm going back and putting, you know, some of the profits that I make through the year back on the business. Okay. But no, I didn't have any bank loans and everything. So everything was from scratch.
What about seasonal?
Seasonal, we started as a seasonal work when we were doing lawn service. Right now, we barely have like 2 week or 3 week break through the year. because we have a lot of work scheduled. Normally, we don't finish all the work that we commit to do it on the season. We don't get to build it, finish it until the next spring. So we are mostly related to seasonal work, but I can say, everything has changed, even the weather, the climate has changed, so we are able to do a lot more work. So we work pretty much all year, so we just take like 2 or 3 weeks at the end of the year, which is Christmas break, and that's when, I take vacation and all my guys take vacation, so it's because we really need it.
Great. Thank you, Antonio. I think we're about done with the time, so appreciate your
Thank you.
presentation. Okay. Antonio, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great job.
Thank you.
Keep giving your presentation.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let me know if you need anything else, okay?
And
All right.
be sure and sign out.
I will.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.